Alright, here we are with a short victory. You can see here using Dechala. The faction is the Tormentors, the new DLC Slaanesh faction, and I can quite surprisingly and happily say that this is a really good DLC. I very much enjoyed this campaign. There's an awful lot to go through with regard to the Tormentors themselves, some of which I know and don't know is different from the traditional Slaanesh. This is the first Slaanesh campaign that I've played. I bought the package of all three lords, and this was the one I did not expect to play. I bought it anyway because it was discounted, and then just decided I would open up the campaign. I would load the campaign and see what the mechanics were like and what things look like. And you start with your little army right here, and then I just ended up playing a full campaign to the win in, as we can see here, 60 turns. And that took me a little while because one of the campaign conditions is you have to get the Pleasure Palace upgraded to level 5. So what are we going to talk about? Just going to talk about the campaign itself. This is the area where Gelt starts. You start down here and you fight those same green skins that Gelt often fights. As I push through there, then I fought these Burning Wind Nomads and made them my vassal. And then I defeated Gelt and made him my vassal. And using settlement trading, I actually was able to, as you can see here, get vassals of the Warhost, the Tsar, and the Blessed Dread. Again, this is done primarily by trading them a minor settlement full of military buildings, so that's still a little bit overpowered. So the two things I want to talk about, because there's so much to talk about, are Dechala herself and then the infrastructure of your buildings. So she is really quite a powerful and very enjoyable legendary lord to play as. She is a non-demon focused legendary lord. Her traits lean into non-demonic forces. So if we look at the faction here, the Tormentor tributes, we'll get to that later, can corrupt enemies like all the Slaanesh, but that's a little different. Character experience gain for characters, physical resistance, and upkeep for devoted marauders. So there's the encouragement here to lean into armies full of marauders at the beginning, which is what I did. I'm running around now with this Doom stack of heroes and a couple of ROR single unit entities. If we look at her, you can see that she's got some pretty outrageous stats here. I mean, 105 melee attack, 95 melee defense, and then a host of abilities, some of which come from her skill tree, some of which come from an absolutely jam-packed set of ancillary abilities. Not these ancillaries, but ancillary abilities you can get from elsewhere in the faction. So she is extremely fast. She's not very well armored, but she can develop physical resistance and ward save. But she has these multiple abilities she can trigger. This one gives her armor and damage resistance. This one gives her weapon damage and lowers melee defense, and this one gives her melee defense and lowers melee attack. This one is just ridiculously good to use. You can get your melee defense far up over 100 while still having a very strong melee attack. She also has gained unyielding assault, so her melee attack can't be reduced. And then somewhere in here it is. This is one of my favorite abilities you can get. That's Executioner. So she can race straight over to an enemy lord, hammer them pretty hard, and then as soon as they're within a fifth of their baseline points, 1/5 of their hit points, so they have 5,000. If they get down to 1,200, she can kill them with the next blow. This comes from this enchantment, Gift of the Perfect Death, which gives her terror, fear, and executor. It also allows her to lower the leadership of units around her as she kills units. In a way, she is a combination of the duelist that Khalida never was, and then the demon lord that Valkia never was. So she's sort of the best of both. And definitely she benefits from that power creep that you're always going to get later on. So let's take a look at her skill tree. This is all pretty normal stuff. This is all normal stuff. At the top here, hates corn. Now this is almost pointless because where she starts, there are no corn lords or forces. She could, if you confederated her, end up fighting elsewhere, but I won this without getting anywhere near Scarbrand or any other corn factions. This one also benefit against elves. She's nowhere near any elves. And then these missile resistance is pretty standard. Mentor I maxed out. She actually will see her abilities in a minute. Takes everybody else's experience. And then this is to boost Champions of Slaanesh. This is a terrific unit. And then otherworldly reflexes, missile 360 block. Her personal line, because she's not a magic user, she can get movement range, Slaanesh corruption, and then Wayfarer is terrific. This means she moves extremely fast on the battlefield. She's also large, so she can slice through infantry. She's terrific to use in combat. So it gives her poison attacks that does damage over time. I don't know if that's a mortis effect. I think while it happens, the enemy is getting damaged over time. This one here is this one here. She starts with these two, and then gains the dagger dance. The Wages of Sin allies melee defense and attack to her Marauder baseline, and immune to contact effects for her Marauder baseline. Then this one here, this Whirlwind of Pleasure, this does stupid amounts of damage. Now it says 108 damage per second in a 6-meter radius for 5 seconds. So that's 540 damage if she's standing next to an enemy entity, and it basically entirely wipes out any sort of infantry unit that she gets embedded in. Finally, this one here, post-battle casualties. That's important because that's one of her currencies, is thralls that you get from post-battle. Reduction in upkeep for her non-demonic units again, leadership for the enemies -4, and then rage for high-ranking demonic units. She is a beast in combat. She makes Marauder units definitely capable in combat. Most of this is pretty much your normal level up stuff. She starts with this Druki Anointed. We're going to go through the heroes in another video. You can get this unique legendary hero, Striker, or Striker. I just call him Striker, after the guy from the 90s movie. And then I added this Allurus was given to me, and I added this Cultist. There are lots of different hero types for this faction. Okay, so herself, she comes with immunity to flanking, leadership, and upkeep for Marauders. So you're definitely going to lean into that low-level Marauder build for her. Now the faction mechanic, the buildings, there are 3 types of building for this faction. Whenever you take over a settlement, you'll choose whether or not to make it a thrall camp, which gives you thralls, which are this expenditure right here, or you choose to make it a military one, the Tormentors hold, and that's where you're going to get your baseline infantry units from. When you get to major settlements, you can make them pleasure palaces, and while this is pink, you can have a pleasure palace if you take over a major settlement, but you're not allowed to get more than one until all of them are at level 3. So I just got this one here to level 3, so now I can, the next major settlement I gain, can grab this. You use the thrall resource to level up the buildings here, and this is where you, let's go back to the original one here. This is where you're going to get your upper level military, including all your heroes. Your baseline military you can get here too. And then all of this stuff, these are more heroes and more military in here. And your income. So you've got decadence and income. We'll look at decadence in a moment. Income from here. This is going to increase income. This one is not going to do income, but it's going to do decadence. This one is going to do decadence, and then this one is going to do decadence and research rate. And decadence is another resource you have. It's this one here. It's spent in this menu for, like, this is like the Grom and Ostankia's boons. You can buy a bunch here to drag onto, like an ancillary, to drag onto your troops. These are individual items. This Gift of Perfect Death, that's the first thing I went to that made her an executor and gave her fear and terror and that leadership debuff there. And then these were 1,000 each, and they're all really, really good. The one that I went for first, where was it? Was it that one? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was this one here. Global bonuses in the Pleasure Palace building chain and Lord and Hero recruit rank. So if you go to the Pleasure Palace building chain, I don't know which one it is. Can never remember. There's so many funny names in these. Is it this one here? Yeah, so global bonuses. Okay, after purchasing the Purveyors of Hope. Here we go. After purchasing Purveyors of Hope and Desperation, +3 control, Slaanesh Corruption, and Slaanesh Corruption adjacent and inside. Really, really good stuff. And the good thing about these resources is, I've won quite handily, but I still don't have stupid piles of this stuff that I can't spend. Now I have got to that point. I've purchased all of these. I can now, as you can see here, I can recruit lords at pretty high level. I can recruit heroes at ridiculously high levels. There are 5 heroes. They all do really, really cool stuff, and I'll get into all that in another video. But I do want to say, if you haven't been a Slaanesh player, I'd never played an Ankari. The closest I got was playing as Azazel. I thoroughly enjoyed this campaign. It's almost totally combat based. You don't have the fast units because I didn't play with demons. You play with slower units. This was mostly a hero stack campaign. I think I played quite a few of my battles manually this time around because it was a lot of fun. Yeah, so 80 battles, a quarter of them fought personally. That is really unusual. Usually for me, it's less than 10%. And I would fight battles just so I could zoom around the battlefield with Dechala because she's a lot of fun. Her lines are pretty funny. She's, again, one of those.
Power is freedom. Ascended. Freedom is power.
Okay, well, that's nice. So I did actually go ahead and ascend one of my heroes to demonhood. I'd never done that before. I don't like playing as demons because I hate you have to babysit them when they start getting smacked. But I ascended this guy. He looks pretty ridiculous, huh? We'll go through some of these differentiations. The Purveyors Slaanesh I didn't really use much. I did use, the spell I did use the most, I love the spell, is... Where is it?
Sister of delight.
This one, Slicing Shards. This is like a Searing Doom, only it's ridiculously powerful. So we'll go through the heroes in another video, but this was absolutely balls load of fun. I highly recommend playing as this faction. The campaign itself is relatively easy. You have these 2 powerful units at the start. I got him by the time I came out here, and then I focused on getting heroes because I realized that this is a hero stack faction. These greenskins are weak. Cathayan armies are garbage. I was able to beat them. I probably could have won more easily grabbing territory. Look at all this green stuff. If I had fought against the Blessed Dread and against the northern provinces. But as it was, you can see here my income from vassals. I vassalized him and I just went west. And then I laid into our good friend, I don't even remember his name, the troll dude, the ogre dude out here. definitely give this one a try. We'll go more in depth on the units and more in depth on the heroes in another video. I just wanted to get this one out there and highly recommend this DLC.